Hey, I thought you just reviewed this game. I did. Sort of. This is the remake of the Game Boy Color game Dragon Warrior Monsters, but this time it is called Dragon Quest Monsters and is remade on the PlayStation 1 with way better graphics. Wait, you didn't know the first game was remade for the PlayStation 1? Don't worry. Most people didn't know because it was never localized. It was released only in Japan. Luckily enough, I'm the first English speaker to ever make a review video of it. Since the game is so similar to its Game Boy counterpart, story-wise, I thought it not wise to just repeat the parts I explained in that video, but to try and explain what changes I liked and those I didn't. Speaking of similarities, before getting into the video, it's time for more differences between Pokemon Red, Green, Blue, Yellow, and Dragon Warrior Monsters 1. In Pokemon, you catch your monsters in a variety of Pokeballs, ranging from Pokeball, Great Ball, Ultra Ball, and the almighty Master Ball. In Dragon Warrior Monsters, you feed them meats you find laying on the ground, which are abundant, or buy them from shops. The meats are beef jerky, pork chop, rib, and sirloin. At this point, going on the Japanese release dates of the games, Pokemon eggs weren't a concept in the games yet, but in Dragon Warrior Monsters, you pay the monster breeder and he will hatch your eggs for you. In later Pokemon games, when you got an egg, you'd have to walk, run, bike, or surf to hatch the eggs, which was very time consuming. In Dragon Warrior Monsters, since you just pay to have them hatched, you can be in and out in 10 seconds flat. In Pokemon, when your team is full, they go to a PC system. In Dragon Warrior Monsters, if you fill your team up, the one you decide not to keep goes to a monster farm. In Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, and Yellow, you travel through the large region of Kanto. In Dragon Warrior Monsters 1 and 2, you travel through a nation made inside of trees and traveler's gates which take you to other realms. Watch the next Dragon Warrior Monsters video when it drops for more differences. Also, this game still has more cutscenes than the 3D Rugrats in Paris game for the PlayStation 1, and this is in 2D for crying out loud. First up, graphics. While the original Game Boy game's graphics were great for a Game Boy, these graphics have all been remade from scratch in super high quality. Where the original felt colorful for a handheld, the remake on PS1 is breathtaking, filled with millions of colors on every part of the screen. When I first played this on my PSP Go in 2010, my breath was taken away. I shook on the inside from the beauty I was taking in. Seeing abstract characters from the Game Boy translated to the PlayStation completely revamped in huge amounts of detail caused my brain to overload, and I am not joking. I felt a great amount of joy and positive anxiety fill my body from the excitement of reliving my childhood, which is impossible by the way. But an advantage of being on the PlayStation is the option of using the D-pad or analog stick and being able to move in 8 directions instead of 4. Seriously, this feels so much better on my thumbs. The monsters were all remade in higher definition, some with additional colors or altered color palettes to better match their NES and SNES counterparts. While I generally like most of the changes and I do enjoy faithfulness to a source material such as the NES and SNES games, some I do not like are Picky's altered color palette. I vastly prefer the Game Boy's more realistic bird colors to the PS1's fat, overweight Democrat-colored feathers. Another one I dislike is Anteater. He loses his bad arse glare and beak, and reminds me of a pot-smoking Rasta brother. More accurate to the animal it is based on, but I'm used to how he looked in the Game Boy game, not the NES and SNES, so this is my personal nitpick. Fire Air is also less animated in the PS1 version. It looks like orange gas which appears for half a second before it disappears. At least on the Game Boy it looked like fire flying across the ground. The castle has been greatly expanded and added pools and rooms and slightly altered layouts of the structures. The boss battles seem a lot easier too. For some reason, Golem was defeated in a few turns, whereas on the Game Boy he provides quite a challenge even if you train for 30 minutes before taking him on. Each battle now has a custom background based on where you are at. A very nice touch, and enemies move more when they attack. Also, you get to see your monsters battle now. Sort of, at the top of the screen. Well, it's better than not seeing them at all and just seeing the enemies, I suppose. Breeding greatly benefits from the graphics and music upgrade. Seriously, listen to that music. The music has had a total overhaul. It is super faithful to the original in every single way, with just enough jazz added to it that it doesn't sound like a one-to-one remake. It's faithful, but not overbearingly different. I'm looking at you, Spyro Reignited and Crash Insane Trilogies. Sound effects aren't as beepy and boopy in this. Don't get me wrong, there are still beeps and boops, but they aren't as high-pitched as they were on the Game Boy. According to the official Dragon Quest Monsters wiki, instead of using a link cable like you would on the Game Boy Color to compete against another player, this version allows the usage of different memory cards on the PlayStation 1 to read the game data. The mobile versions of the games can link to the PS1 by using a password system, which allows players to raise monsters in either version and transfer them to the other one. The combinations of monsters are different from the originals, many of which are not available in the originals. The originally hidden monsters of each version, Lamia, Dimensor, and Cage Bau, are all available in the games. In Dragon Warrior Monsters Terry's Wonderland, several special rooms in the original version no longer appear in the PlayStation 1 version. Since this game on the inside is the exact same as the game it is based on, there's no point in me going through the core loop again, which are things that must be repeated over and over again, which can make a game great or boringly repetitive. If you want to hear my opinion on the core loop, then watch my Game Boy Color review of Dragon Warrior Monsters. Don't think that there's nothing extra added to this game besides the graphics and the upgraded animations. There were, however, some monster additions made to the game. There is a Watabau and Warabau exclusive available only in this version. If you had a cell phone when the remakes were released in Japan, you could transfer over a yellow Watabau-like creature with a cell phone called Aibau to use in the game. Also, the 3 secret monsters from the Game Boy sequel Dragon Warrior Monsters 2, which were Cage Bau, Lamia, and Dimensor, are also available. How do you obtain them in this remake? I don't know. Only Japanese people do, since they're the only ones that got this version of the game. While the official wiki for the game said that the hidden monsters were in both versions of the game on the PS1 remake, they never listed how you got them. I found out in January of 2021 that you don't need an event to get these monsters, but I was still uncertain about how to get them. The official website mentioned them being openly available with no further explanation. I Love My Name 11 said, there's always a chance for them to spawn in enemy master teams. Obviously, it's a random chance, but possible. I've had Lamia spawn a bunch, and I've only seen Cage Bau once, though. I assume Dimensor is the same. Water-type monsters are a pain as well, as those aren't in any world in Monsters 1, so either a trade between games, or a enemy master again. Please note that while this was confirmed by I Love My Name 11, I myself have not been able to confirm this, even after beating the games and fighting enemy masters. I have not once encountered any of the secret monsters. The person that was working on the English patch translation for about 10 years did upload a YouTube video about a decade ago, showing the progress he had made before he faded into obscurity and never finished the translation. There was also a very detailed website dedicated to the PS1 remakes of the games with information that I can't understand and that I can't translate because the website's so old. So I'm just going to let the video play and show you the parts of the website that pertain to the Terry's Wonderland PS1 remake. All in all, I'll give this remake a 5 out of 5. They changed just enough to make it very enjoyable, and now even returning players will find something new while keeping the base game unchanged. Next, I'll be reviewing Dragon Quest Monsters 1 a third time, if I can get that version working. Wait, what? If not, I'll be reviewing Dragon Warrior Monsters 2, Terra and Kobe.